This video will describe and give you understanding of the main cause of so much chronic pain in society. From my experience, chronic pain comes, you don't even know where it came from. You have shin splints and you're like, why are they there? They just randomly happen one day. Or your hips are constantly stiffy and ache. And then it's like, this just hurts. It hurts to move. Or your back just starts to ache. I've had years of back pain, and it ended when I started doing these three things to build out the chronic pain. But the one thing that caused all of these things to come together, the shin splints to this, how could that be in one umbrella, you may ask? But the answer is volume tolerance. Your body doesn't have the tolerance to the volume that you're putting it under, and because of that, what happens is you start to break down. There starts to be a tug on something that isn't strong enough or is your weak link. So to fix this, there's some easy steps that you can go through and build the body you want to live in. The analogy I want to use to help you understand this is it's not proper use that you're doing too much of, it's actually improper use. So to help you understand, if we're using a soccer ball to play soccer, the ball should last a long time if it was built well. I think the human body was built pretty well. And if you want it to last longer, you could patch it up. But the body's built in with its own patch system. Now, if I wanted to play soccer, I started using this mango. It wouldn't last too long. It would break down pretty quickly. And oftentimes what happens is people will blame, the mango skin's not thick enough. The mango has a problem. No, it's not actually that the thing that's hurting has a problem. It's just that it's not being used for the proper thing, or it's not being supported in the proper way. With this, we can teach you to support and start using the body in a proper way so you can feel better and move with more confidence. So the first part of fixing this volume tolerance issue is correcting the weaknesses that we have. And the first thing you have to do is start to train. All of my examples I'm going to use with the back because one, I've lived through it, but two, it's easier to keep the examples continuous as we go through the whole video. So for the back, you need to train it. You need to train it in flexion. You need to train it in extension. It's not just keep a straight back, and it's not, you can always curve your back. It depends on the movement that you're doing. But it's not just those two as well. You need to have rotation, which is a little bit difficult with the shoulder right now, but the spine is what's actually rotating. It's not my upper body in terms of the shoulders staying straight. The spine is rotating. The spine is rotating. All of those things need to be trained and built with strength. So as you do them, they get more and more comfortable, because what's going to happen is you're living life. You got to, let's say, pick up a flower pot, but it's on the side of the house and there's a corner of the wall here. So you end up like picking it up like this. It's like you got a flexed spine and a rotated spine, but the only training you ever done is straight and an extension. We have a problem. We have a weak link, and we're going to have to build that up. The other thing that you need to do is start moving. So a lot of the time people just won't move. So it's not just about training it, but it's about moving it through the ranges and having that pain-free. The reality is that pain can often be very neurological, especially when it comes to the back. What that comes to is using something like a back extension, where you're controlling down, you're moving back up, and you're having slow tempo as you go through it, so you can build confidence back in the spinal erectors, but also just the spine in general to support you and feel good. The best thing about this is that you shouldn't be causing more pain. You should actually be in a completely pain-free range. Everything I'm doing for my shoulder, which I just broke my clavicle, is pain-free. Everything I'm doing, I'm not trying to cause more pain. Is there some pain? Yeah, because the bones broke. But as I go through the movements, it's like, okay, this is causing pain. I need to take a different view. I need to take a different route. I need to move this muscle differently. Okay, can I fix it? Can I go slower to be able to move through that? Everything is dialed in on pain-free, and that allows you to, one, move more, and then you start training, and then you become more resilient. The next aspect to volume tolerance is actually movement patterns. So it's how you move. Our bodies weren't made to sit for hours of the day. And what happens is we do sit for many hours of the day. So the volume of sitting is just too much for our body to tolerate. So what that looks like is achiness, stiffness, and the best way to fix that is to actually train it away. So again, the first section is training, but this looks a little bit different. So if you sat for a long time in a chair and you took 1 minute to just sit completely down, and I'm using the slant board as well. One, it helps me keep this up, but the other aspect is that I don't have to worry about my ankles. Maybe my ankles are super, super stiff, so I can't squat all the way. But this is gonna help open up your hips. Even if you just did it a minute a day, that's gonna help start training a natural movement pattern, a squat. You're moving with walking, maybe you start running again, or you start climbing, or you do things like that. We're gonna talk about that a little bit more later though. The other thing is avoidance. You need to try to avoid the improper movement patterns. So not saying that sitting is bad, and I actually sit quite a bit because I'm programming for people, I'm writing out the scripts to these posts, I'm moving around, I'm doing a lot of different work, and I can focus more when I'm sitting. But while I'm sitting in a chair, I'm trying to do different movements. Like if I'm sitting here, instead of sitting straight and me just going like this, maybe I sit like this for a little bit and just internally rotate this hip. This one externally rotates a little bit, but I'm focused over here. Or I sit a little bit wider for some time, or I even internally rotate both legs. Like it looks a little bit funny, but as you start sitting like this, it's gonna help you move through the hours of sitting that you have to do without being as stiff. And then of course, you're still getting that training in when you're done with the sitting. You're just doing a little bit of training, opening up extra range and going through it. Ideally, you can completely avoid it. Maybe you're sitting on the ground, you have a low coffee table or something like that with a computer. That works really well, and I do that often. Sometimes I gotta dial in and focus, and I understand that. So move a little bit while you're sitting, and you'll have better movement patterns. The last section of movement patterns is move naturally. So as I said, we're gonna talk a little bit more about walk, run, climb, jump, swim, all of those things that are movements that maybe you did as a kid when you didn't have that chronic pain, your back wasn't achy, you wanna start doing again. But you have to think of it in the view of volume tolerance. So yes, your body was built to do it, but your body might have actually adapted out of it. So you have to readapt it back to being comfortable to do the different movements and have joy. When you're moving naturally, you're having joy. Little kids love to run around and just laugh, and it doesn't make any sense why they are, but they're enjoying their life and they're just moving with the confidence that they're born with that we often lose through the chronic pain that we live in. The last section to this volume tolerance is having an imbalanced body. When your body is out of balance, even natural movements like we were talking about just previously become a little bit difficult. So the first section of this is building the joints around the body to have security, but also strength. My back's what's aching, let's say. Maybe my hips are actually super tight, or my knees don't work properly, which is changing how I walk. And my ankles are actually a problem to where I can't walk naturally. As that comes to be, we have to work from the outside in to sometimes fix these internal chronic pain issues of the back or the hips or the shoulders. It's so close in, but if the wrist is messed up, it could be affecting how well your shoulder moves, or how well your shoulder moves, which has led you to poor posture, which has messed up your back. So the joints are extremely important to bring balance to, so you have the resilience to get out of that chronic pain and start moving naturally. The second part of that is posture, which again, I've seen many results with posture on just building structural balance in the joints. So as you do that, this one is gonna get easier as well, but being conscious of your posture. When you're breathing, where are you breathing the air into? Are you breathing the shoulders up, which is actually really hard to do right now? Or are you breathing low into the belly, and are you taking the air in, keeping the posture strong as you go through it? You're breathing over. As you go through this, you're gonna start having more resilience with the body and feel better with your posture, because better posture is gonna bring you better confidence and less chronic pain, which is going to bring you even more confidence. And the last part of this imbalanced body is what I call structural balance. So building out the 6 forms of structural balance, which I have a video on that goes through each of the forms, how to build it and what it really means. So I suggest you go watch that video if you feel like that chronic pain that is bugging you could be fixed by this, which I highly think it could because I've seen it over and over and over and over again. To wrap this all up, from building strength to building movement patterns to building structural balance, you're gonna feel better. Typically, there's one area that you're gonna need the most, and that's to bring that area up to balance. So if your joints are super imbalanced, maybe we need to build some structural balance in there. Or if you have weakness and we just need to build general strength so you feel more confident moving, or you just need to move a little bit more, find some movement patterns that you really found fun and get back into those things. As this comes together, it'll build the life that you want, where it's getting back to the hobbies that you feel confident doing, but you also are getting better at. Maybe you're winning a little bit more if you were doing them. Or it's just enjoying things with your family, of getting on the ground with your grandkids, to not being the last person while you're hiking. So thanks for watching. Hit subscribe and like the video because it helps me out a lot. And I'll see you in the next one.